Woza 2019 woza mayibuye iAfrika umhlaba wethu umhlaba wethu. Thank you very much, Secretary General, our chairperson in Gauteng, our secretary of the province, leaders of the region and our ground forces. I don't want us to waste time. We've been here the whole day. There were two cases. The first case was to declare the Rioters Assemblies Act unconstitutional. Unfortunately, on that case, the lawyers of the EFF did not file the papers properly. We have since to change those lawyers because the EFF cannot be associated with mediocrity and incompetency. So we have employed the new lawyers who are going to make sure that the papers are filed properly. So for the declaration of the Rioters Assemblies Act to be unconstitutional, will come back on the 12th and the 13th of December because we want those laws to be declared unconstitutional. And when we come back, we are hopeful that indeed they will be declared unconstitutional. The Rioters Assemblies Act was passed in 1955, if not 1956, as a response to the Freedom Charter. So they waited for the Freedom Charter to be adopted. They passed that law, and that was the law which was used to trial a lot of our leaders at that time, including Nelson Mandela. So the ANC now uses the same law to trial us. The same law that was used by apartheid to send people to prison. They are using the same law because they are looking for anything they can find to destroy the leadership of the EFF. So we are under permanent scrutiny. They are the hawks on our case. They are all types of institutions tasked by the ANC to find every small thing to destroy the leadership of the EFF. We must not be worried about that. It comes with the territory. Politics are not for the weak. They are for those who are willing to permanently engage in a battle of ideas, because we know that that which we stand for will stand the test of time. But if you do not believe in the cause and you have got no conviction, you will be shaken every time accusations are made against you as leadership. Baetapele ba rena bo kgalema motlantse le bopita mokaba ba re rutile gore moetapele ke kgetsi ya masepa. So o mongwe le o mongwe o tshwara masepa o no fosha moetapele ka masepa. When you are a leader, you must know ke wena swarsaka. O mongwe le o mongwe o no fosha mo wena. Mara ha o ka tseba gore ke wena swarsaka e ba o fosha ka masepa o thoma o lla why. So leaders must know that all types of accusations will always be there against them. So one day you wake up in the morning, there are so many things said about your leadership. You must know it is part of being leadership to be accused of certain things. So we are not worried about what is going on in this country. The issue of the land, whether we are prosecuted or not, the land is going to be expropriated without compensation. They did all these types of prosecution and persecution in an attempt to demoralize us for fighting for the land. They thought when they accused us of these things, we will go back to them to ask for forgiveness and in exchange, we will abandon the land question. So we said we will never do that. We will fight for the land to be returned into the hands of the rightful owners. And that's exactly what we are doing. Whether they like it or not, Parliament is going to pass an amendment of the Constitution to expropriate land without compensation. When they scare people, fools like Enoch Godongwan, who's overrated in the ANC, they say that people will not have houses. It is fools who say that, because there is a difference between a house and the land. A house is built on the land. So we have nothing wrong with these buildings of theirs. But they should know that the land which they've built on belongs to us. At any time we can ask of that land because it must belong to the state. Now we are unable to expropriate even buildings that are no longer useful here in Tswane. In those buildings. How who's owning the building? Barno, some bank of Mozambique. That bank has long closed, is no longer there. Yet you can't touch that building. Why? Because they say it belongs to certain people. If the building belongs to Mozambican bank, that's fine. The land belongs to us. And this building is no longer being used for the intended purpose. Therefore, we must drop it and get our land back and use it to benefit the people of South Africa. That's all we're talking about. We want to own the farm that is owned by Afrikaner Boers. Why? Because if a black farmer dies in that farm, and they refuse them to bury their loved ones in that farm, we shall expropriate that land and give it to those farm workers to bury their loved ones, because the white one is refusing to cooperate with the community found in that farm. So for as long as we've got no title to that land, the white Afrikaner can always tell the farm workers who have stayed in that farm for more than 40 years, you can't bury this person here. And there is very little we can do. They chase the dead people out of the farm. They chase their families out of the farm during the time of bereavement. And there's very little you can do as government because you have no access to that land. That's how we are talking about the dignity of our people. So land is dignity. That's why we want that dignity to be there even when you are dead. In Hammanskraal, there are no longer graves. They now bury people on top of each other. And next to the grave in Hammanskraal, there is an open land there called farms. When you look at that land, there are no cattle, goats or sheep grazing on that land. But there is no planting as well taking place on that land. It's just a piece of land idling. Yet the whole community of Marapia does not have a place to bury their loved ones. Babu look about on top of each other, yet there is an open land. Why is the state not taking that land and giving it to our people and saying, here it will be a graveyard for the people of Marapia, so that you restore their dignity? That's what we are talking about. So expropriation of land and nationalizing the land does not mean madness. It means the state becomes the owner, so that if we want to do something for our people, we don't have a headache of being taken to court after court. So they know what land will do. That's why they are fighting with us. And that's why our lawyers should have taken that matter so serious, because it's an important matter that deals with restoring the dignity of our people. The revolution was established for the purpose of the land, not for voting. We never engaged in a revolution because we wanted to vote. The voting came later. The revolution was formed following the wars of dispossession, following the conquering of our people. When our people were conquered as small tribal groups, they said this conquering is successful because we are fighting as small groups. We must come together and form one umbrella body to fight for our land. But what happened after? People, the revolution got diluted. People saw the joining of the revolution as the quickest way to be closer to resources. That's how capitalism corrupted the revolution. So we must go back to the core founding principles of our revolution, the African Revolution. What is the African Revolution about? The African Revolution is about the ownership of the land and the means of production. There is no means of production without ownership of the land, because land comes with everything. The second case was the case by Zuma, where he says he's appealing the earlier judgment, where the court ordered him to pay the cost personally when we won the case against him. So Zuma must pay 10 million. He says, no, I was acting as a president, therefore I can't pay personally. So that's why we came back here. No, Zuma was late to appeal that judgment. The court, why Zuma as a appeal kana kwela atla so late? Arno unali busy a shifted in Toka Runata Maya Sali president. Jano Rinar Sanjir in the mode the whole day. Reto tele Zuma unali busy kama ya jama from this house to another house. We don't have time for those things. Zuma unali shifted the piri.